Hey everyone, my name is Seth and welcome back to my channel Astro Lasher. With the holiday season coming around very quickly, one more thing is coming around in the astronomy world, and that is the great conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter, which is what I'm going to try and capture in this video. So I'm sure many of you are asking to yourselves, what is the great conjunction? And to briefly explain, over the past few months, Jupiter and Saturn have gone from being far apart in the night sky, slowly drifting closer and closer until finally, on December 21st, 2020, they were within 0.1 degrees of each other. So what does this mean for the average person? Well, pretty much nothing. If you don't have any equipment, it'll probably just look like a bright star in the sky. There's nothing else to it. But if you have a powerful pair of binoculars, or if you had a telescope, you'll be able to see both celestial bodies in the same field of view, which is what I'm going to hope to do. For me, however, there's one slight problem in trying to capture both planets, and that is, as the months have progressed, both planets have become lower and lower to the horizon, and now, at this point, they're just above the horizon at sunset, which means I will have to capture it as soon as I can, right after it gets dark, before the planets dip below the horizon, or even get too close to the horizon, where I have more atmosphere to shoot through. This means I'll most likely not be able to photograph them from home, and I'll have to travel somewhere relatively close by to get a higher vantage point and hopefully be able to capture both planets high enough in the sky that atmosphere shouldn't be as much of a problem. So without further ado, let me jump right in. So I'm currently over Culver City, California, and I'm looking at Jupiter and Saturn, which are a day before the conjunction right now. And so I'm using the Celestron Nexstar 6 SE with a DSLR camera, and then you can see them right there on backyard EOS, and I'm trying to capture just as many exposures as I can and hopefully going to process them later. Here, don't want to get the flash in there, but the top right is Saturn, bottom left is Jupiter. Hopefully I'll be able to process them and get an awesome photo. Even though I was able to see both planets in the same field of view, I wasn't getting them as sharp as I was getting them a few months prior when I shot them in opposition. So, rather than accepting the results straight after the process, I decided to add a little bit of data that I had collected earlier when the planets were in opposition that was a lot sharper, and it brought out much more detail on the planets. This gave me the best result, and I was extremely happy with the final photo. While I am relatively new to astrophotography, this was definitely the first and largest astronomical event that I was able to photograph. And so for those of you who weren't able to see it in person, I really hope I'm able to accurately portray how it felt to see these two planets coming together, and everyone coming together to view it. They say a photo can speak 1,000 words, and I really think this picture speaks for itself. So without further ado, here it is. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of the video. While the conjunction was the main thing I was photographing, I also had the opportunity to rent a camera lens, go out to a relatively dark location, and photograph the Flame and Horsehead Nebula. I really enjoyed photographing it, so I'd like to share it with all of you. So without further ado, here that is.